Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn. Have all of you recovered from Thanksgiving, the first stage of the holidays? It's been a week since I've talked to you, since Cyber Monday. I hope you, everyone seemed to have enjoyed that show, it looks like, and enjoyed the goodies in it as well. Well, we have some more of the same, except today I'm going to try to weave in, as I've been promising you, the end of the year, Black Friday, lump them all together, but some sale items. You've, in the show and go, you cleaned me out of a lot of amazing deals that I offered then. We haven't done a show and go in a while. I may put together one at some point, but until then, I'm going to be putting in some items that reflect show and go prices. For those of you tuning in from YouTube, welcome. The show and go is what I refer to when I just show items really quickly, the items I've featured before. So if you're a regular listener or watcher or just a rock hound that knows their stuff, you'll know it without me going into much detail about what the item is, because normally I can get kind of winded over a $28 item. So in show and go, we don't put the graphics up. We just mention the item number and feature the item quickly and move on to the next one. What we do, though, is offer it at a greater discount than we've ever offered it before. And we get to feature more items as well, because I'm not going into the diatribe of information I often give. So, okay, now, so we're going to throw some of those in. All right, we are having our first trivia since pretty much 2 shows ago, because the last show that you saw, we had recorded so close to the other show, there wasn't time for you to get your answers in. So I have all the answers in. So your answers and comments from the last 2 weeks I've included, and the trivia answers will be from the last trivia that I had done. So let's get to that so I can get to the items that I never seem to have enough time to feature for you. All right, so the questions for the trivia were, question 1, the decomposition of barrel. And at this point, I'm expecting you kind of know what barrel is, but I always don't mind refreshing everybody. Barrel is the family name for the many gemstones that you're familiar with. So like Morganite. Morganite is a pink variety of beryl. Aquamarine is the green-blue variety of beryl. Emerald is a green variety of beryl. Goshenite, clear variety of beryl. So in beryl, in its purest form without any impurities, is actually Goshenite, clear beryl, named after Goshen, Massachusetts, where one of the places was first discovered. So but beryl being allochromatic, when it takes on other impurities of color, that's what gives it all these other colors, and hence many other names. The decomposition of every mineral usually has another mineral. Like, did you know that when you start off with uranium, U-238, and as its half-life progresses, which in that case is a long time, it eventually breaks down. I'll try to keep this simple. Of its atomic structure breaks down and becomes lead. So many, and that's a element. Many minerals will go through alterations as well as other, even things as simple as water, fresh water. Then if you get seawater involved, like I am thinking, the number of minerals that are being created by these new lava, the volcanic explosions, where you see the lava running into the sea. The sea holds, and they've even tried to figure out how they can do it economically, just about every element there is, including gold. Including gold. There's a percentage of seawater that holds gold atoms. So when you have that much energy of molten magma that's been pulled up from deep within the earth, full of all this different kind of chemicals interacting with all the chemicals in the seawater, you get a plethora. Think about this. Table of elements, there's, let's say more usable ones. Let's say cut it in half and say there's about 50 good usable elements that could be found in the Earth's crust or between the seawater. And then the elements that are in the water and the interaction of the water with, a solid, with a liquid at those high temperatures being cooled off could generate, think about the combinations. If you just have a combination of 3 people and 3 other people, they go through it. What is it? When the Supreme Court shakes hands with each other, how many times do they have to do it to where everybody shakes hands with everyone else? And, so it all comes down to, even like the lottery, the combination of numbers and the sheer volume of combination of those numbers from something as simple as 6 numbers drawn. Well, think of the number of elements mixed. So that's why, I'm just thinking and picturing all these beautiful crystals. We grew crystals on this show, which I want to do again. You know what I was looking for, and I think I found it. The base I'm going to grow them on. I already have the chemical that I'm going to use. So I think I'm going to grow them on a natural geode base. So look forward to that down the road too, as I have time. So geology in Mother Nature is occurring all the time. The decomposition of one mineral can often lead into another mineral, and it can be similar or very widely, and it occurs again through everything, through just simple freshwater, simple seawater, high temperature geothermal solutions coming up is a big one. Heat, pressure, all these things, and can convert and change one mineral into another. So the decomposition of barrel creates what mineral? And, we could say what gemstone, but in the end, since many people weren't familiar with it as being a gemstone, in the end, it's always a mineral. Just like, you have diamond, which is pure carbon, and you can always say diamond, but in the end, diamond is a mineral, even though it's pure carbon. You don't always necessarily have to say it's a gemstone. Same thing with emerald. In the end, it's still a mineral. Mineral being, answer being that barrel breaks down into euclase. Euclase, and if you look at the two chemical makeups of the two, you can see how that would occur. And euclase is a incredible stone that I showed you, and that particular one being found in the Chivor mine in Colombia, and which is the classic places that you would want one to be from. And that's why it's got that really old step cut. It could be recut. You could lose some weight. I think it's pretty bright and shiny now, and it's definitely a rare stone. Good hardness to it. So I don't know if anyone got it yet. If you're still interested, check it out. It'd be a great one, especially at that price, to have in your collection. The second question is, what is another word for reverse photochromism? Both of these words are kind of difficult, but the reverse photochromism actually says everything you want to know in the breakdown of the words itself. Reverse, photo, chromism is color. So you're reversing the picture, color of the picture, basically. And that was done on that amazing Hackmanite, which has reverse photochromism, and that's where several things can actually cause it to change color and then change back. And changing back often involves a dark place to bring it back to its original color. The sunlight will alter it to another color. Ultraviolet light will not only change and intensify oftentimes the color Hackmanite, but it will cause it to be photoluminescent. You take that light away and it still glows. And when I did that in my closet the other day, which I hadn't done, I had known it was photochromic, but I'd never really charged it. And it didn't take that long, but a few seconds with my UV light to charge it. And then sure enough, pull it away. It's like, I don't want to sell this, but I did want to share it with everybody and give everyone else a chance. So I have a feeling that one probably sold. All right, so the other word for reverse photochromism is tenebrescence. Tenebrescence. And big word. It's one you should know, though. All right, here we go. Let's get to the comments. All right, and see who the winner is. All right, Miss Gabby starts off, says, "Hi, gang. Hope everyone has or had a wonderful Thanksgiving. On the road and watched the show a day late, but another winner for a show. Another winner for a show. My trivia answers are euclase and tenebrescence." So she gets the answers right out of the gate. "Hard to type in the truck, so going to run so I can see if any of the items on my list are still available. Take care, Miss Gabby." All right, so good job there. All right, we have Miss Barbara next. "Hi, Professor, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Wow, you are really digging deep into the goodie bag. That Hackmanite and Friends specimen was choice." That's the one I was just talking about. Especially with the Richterite on it, which is also fluorescent in an unusual color. And what a great piece. "I have a tiny faceted gem of it, and it does tricks that blow my mind." Yeah, that stuff is amazing. It is so fluorescent and bright. "Someone got a treasure. My big aha this week was the euclase. I never knew how closely related it is to beryl. Be equals beryllium. Nice hint to beryl's component. I've seen clear or pale yellow-green euclase cut as a gemstone, but never the pale blue from Colombia. Nice. Noodling around on the internet, I see some deep denim blue crystals from Zimbabwe." Yeah, and the price of the crystal specimens was actually more than the rough, the faceted stone I was offering. It was kind of crazy. Really startling blue color. And the demantoid and the Sodalite with Richterite. What a cornucopia of choices. But you got to be quicker than quick to score a purchase. I'm sorry. Yes, I would like a shot at the Rhodochrosite from last week if you have another. We'll see. We'll see later in the comments what happens. I'm very familiar with the $100 jewelry channel. In the past, they devoted over half of their airtime to selling loose gemstones and carefully educating the public about them. I am indebted to them for rekindling my adolescent love of geology in my retirement years and, by osmosis, teaching me the level of detail I have on the subject today. Sadly, they've changed over to a volume jewelry marketing model and only support education online. And yes, they do commit the sin of trademarking the names of their colored gemstones now. Guess that, and improving their jewelry design successfully moves their product on what is, after all, a jewelry channel. Now I feed my brain here with the professor on a real gem channel. Gemshopping.com. Where's where you can find us. I'm ad-libbing and adding this part. So don't forget, it's as simple as gemshopping.com for a whole host if you like to do things online. To get me, Shawn at gemshopping.com. And also, if you go to the front page, go down to the bottom at the Learning Center, click on that, and it will link you not only to this show, but also to the How It's Done, where Gem Shopping with the host, me hosting and the production director, Asif, actually putting together, took a year, an incredible 30 episodes of, start to finish. You would feel like you're a master goldsmith, and you get to see two incredible pieces being made from start to finish, including alloying of metal. It will, even for me having made them, I went to watch one of my own shows and it sucked me in. I found myself interested in watching my own show, like I was going to learn something from it. It was kind of funny because that had to do with the director being Asif, channeling me into what I was saying and how I was relating what I was saying to what I was doing, and the editing, which was done by another Shawn. Between the two of them, that's what made it so interesting and allowed me to actually want to watch my own show. It was just really the way it was put together, and very, very well done. So anyway, Gem Shopping not only has this show, you have those educational areas. We have also Alan that does a gemology section. And of course, in this show, you can get a broad knowledge of gemstones, minerals, you know, and jewelry whenever that happens as well. So make sure you go to see how it's done, because I feel like if you watch that, it will complete the knowledge necessary so then you can watch all of Gem Shopping Network shows and fully understand every estate piece, how all these other pieces that you see were made. Not only that, how the stones were cut, because like you saw, I brought in the Axonite the other day, showed you a me in the middle, process in the middle of it. I think it's already pre-sold if I wanted it to be. So you're going to see it all. You're going to see it all and learn it all. And it is not your level of, we're on a whole nother level of not quality. And with that comes also a level of education that is offered, that if you want to find out about something amazing, that the education is there on the site or within the shows themselves. So enjoy it all. And, you know, it truly is one of those things that you can just, channel you can just leave on in the background as you're going about the house, and hear and see pieces like you would never see anywhere else. Indeed. Like we referred to the other channel, your choices were in the $100 limit, and you know, that's where you get what you pay for. So and along with that comes, you know, which I can't get over, vermelho garnet, you know, which really someone like me, a gem nut, you know, and a lapidary and a faster really was interested, especially garnet. Remember, is my birthstone. So if a vermelho garnet, I haven't heard of that one, you know, let me look that one up. Let's see what that's all about. Yeah. All that's about is taking a one of the local languages, one, not the primary one, just one of the local languages used in the country of origin of this garnet, which was, I don't know, Zimbabwe, I think, in Africa. And so one of the language, vermelho, in Portuguese means red. In the end, oh, look at this fantastic red garnet. What's in a name, right? Mm-hmm. Say no more on that. All right, so Miss Barbara adds a good points to the whole issue. So, as to the trivia, a decomposition product of barrel is euclase, and reversible photochromism is tenebrescence. Laughed at your comment about the hot shower. Sadly, it was only a one-time treat. For those of you that don't remember, Miss Barbara was so thrilled last week because she had gotten the plumber to finally get her hot water on. Sadly, it was only a one-time treat, since they are still trying to get my system up and running reliably. I've had to apply my camping skills and wash up in a basin of hot water from a kettle. A challenge for a 70-plus-year-old for 6 weeks. No stinky marshmallow here. Oh, too cute. Hope everyone had a very happy Thanksgiving and that no relatives were harmed in the process. We actually have a lot to be thankful for this year. Be well all. Miss Barbara from Brooklyn. And so her getting the answers right gets her name thrown in the hat. Miss Elisa in Florida. Happy Thanksgiving, GSN crew. The lovely Raven, I shall add. Professor Shawn and Rock Family. Thank you for another great show, Shawn. I love the information about mindat.org. And again, MINDAT, Mindat is an amazing resource for people that love rocks and minerals. And you know, once you get used to and learn how to use it, now some of the information may kind of go over your head, but with time and watching my show, you'll be able to understand all the basics that you need to know from there and how to use it for research. And that's what the main tool is. The husband and wife team that founded it are brilliant, and it's one of those sites just like you know, that I'll donate to a few bucks a year because of the amount that I use it, and just like I will, you know, other informational sites that are free on the internet that are so widely used by people. So great info on that one. It's one that I'm comfortable with. The research and the vetting of the items are like, you know, at the college level or beyond, at the professorial level, that kind of thing, or the museum level of education, that kind of thing. And they're reviewed all the time and scrutinized. You can imagine, someone being, a top researcher in a particular field of geology or mineralogy and seeing something on there that was wrong. Believe me, it's called out and edited and corrected. So anyway, I'll have to use this website to help me get more information about the Jones Mine specimen I got from you a while ago. And that is the only place that I found really good, reliable information about it. And so what you want to do when you find it is go through and cross-reference every possible combination of other minerals to see and find every specimen that is pictured from the Jones mine, and you'll see that I think it went what they call extinct in the 1960s. So if you have one of those specimens, you've got something really special. And look at it really closely, because I'm holding back one specimen because I think I have not a decomposed titanite, which is often the case that you find with those specimens, but it is actual titanite crystals, steam, that haven't been decomposed, which is really rare. So I'm looking into that more. Those specimens can also hold zircons. So look at it for any zircons on that. My answers are euclides and tenebrescents. Very good. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe, and I'm looking forward to your next show. Thank you, Miss Elisa. Hello, my name is Elaine, and I'd like to know if you ever considered an apprentice or intern of sorts to come be your shadow or student. Best hope, Elaine. That is so complimentary, Miss Elaine, for you to even ask or want to do that. And it's something certainly that I've just considered over the years. And actually, if a new jewelry school is started in the state of Georgia, I am the go-to person that they have used to review the curriculum of any school and see if it's up to snuff. And along the way, I actually have an entire curriculum of start to finish. If I ever wanted to start some type of jeweler school or jeweler/lapidary, but of course I would tie in the mineralogy aspect like I did in one of the How It's Done series. It's the most viewed series over there with over 100,000 views. I think close to 200,000 views is the episode that we created that was titled How to Drill a Gemstone. So the How It's Done shows, in a case like that, a lot of people can find just a simple crystal and want just a simple pendant made. And if you have the ability to drill that at the bench, you can get another client, another customer, and people that are more rock counted oriented end of it. You can have those kind of clients into your store. Remember, I've had 2 different retail stores over my time, so I always tried to think of ways to draw the interest in from the crystal end and lapidary end from with clients as well. So with that said, and with the amount of interest that I have seen in creating those episodes, the how-to episodes, and the huge number of people that have viewed them, I realize that there is a big audience, and those are for people that don't even know me, but that when they do watch the show, like my way of presentation and of delivering knowledge. So, I feel like I could have something to offer if, in a retirement situation, I wanted to create something like that. My thing would be, I would love, someone else asked one time if I'd ever go and take a group prospecting. And again, I would love to do all those things. And I know there'd be a big group because you know what? I have all the equipment. I mean, I have like 4 different dredges. I have, of course, the excavator I showed you the picture of, and we could really, really put on quite a fun dig, so to speak, in some neat territory in the gold belt. So besides taking you to mines that are way out in the woods and explore those as well. But, I'm not set up right now where I could do anything like that, Miss Elaine, but I am just fully and totally complimented by you even asking and wanting me to be your mentor. There's no greater compliment. So I thank you for just reaching out and even asking. So, yeah, maybe another day. Keep watching right here. Miss Barbara, in an earlier, because remember, these comments go over 2 weeks' time. So in an earlier one she had sent, says, "Hi, Professor Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Thanks to all for making a holiday week recording possible. I look forward to Monday mornings with Shawn and company and such lovely goodies to choose from. I happen to be on the phone ordering the dioptase crystals and the pyrite and quartz when I heard my name on the screen. It was another Rhodochrosite for me. Yippee, great timing. I had passed on the first one, which was like some time ago, regretted losing the next, which wasn't that long ago, and figured that the well was running dry on the rare and unusual Rhodochrosite. So I grabbed this one. I really like the minerals that are captured and therefore preserved by coatings of selenite or quartz, like quartz over chrysocolla or this Rhodochrosite. Thank you for sharing. It's amazing when you have that selenite and you look with big magnification, you can see it literally protects those little spheroids or little botryoidal formations of the Rhodochrosite. And if it's malachite, little tiny acicular needles of it as well, which you can see. And it's really neat when you get those specimens. And I was fortunate because when I bought my Rhodochrosite, I got a flat of them. In other words, just a flat to where there were enough specimens. But now, if you can picture how many I've sold, how much room was left in the flat, not a lot. And, we have to still hang on to a couple of them. But the one you got, that was special actually by waiting that long because it had galena with it. So if I remember correctly. So no, that was a fantastic specimen you got. And if you check it out even closer, you may find some other copper related minerals with that piece, along of course with the ferric dolomite. There's also probably some calcite, and put a UV light on it as well. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Oh, wait, didn't finish Barbara's. Okay, so gotta go pay attention to the plumbers, she says, who are back again. The job leader says he's been seeing more of me than his wife. That's scary at his rates. Hope today's procedure is the charm for the return of automatic heat and hot water for the rest of my life. From my lips to God's ears, she says. Be safe all. Omicron is out there. Yeah, we were talking about Omicron just before the show started and kind of, shouldn't be really laughing about it, but referring to the name, and we were just kind of curious about the name because I wasn't sure how they came up with it. The others, I thought they were Greek letters they were using, but we just said that the name sounds like it'd be a great name for one of the Transformers. I know one of the group of the Transformers, which started off as a kid show, but of course a lot of adults ended up liking the Transformers, which look like a car or a regular semi, and they transform into these mechanical futuristic alien warriors. And so one of the group of bad guys is called the Decepticons. And so that's why, and some of the others sound similar to that. So that's where I got the thought of that the Omicron sounds like one of the Transformers. So yeah, hopefully it won't be a big deal because I'm about done with it all. Miss Cindy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family. I hope this will reach you before the filming of next week's show. Did a 14+ hour day and could not watch on Monday. Shawn, it was a great variety, and I love all the green specimens this week. It could have been a show for St. Patrick's Day week. Already have trivia prize envy after that tease of opal you are gifting next week. Hoping this week's ahead is wonderful for everybody. Till next Monday, take care. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Okay, let's see. Miss Cindy, we put all the names in the hat. And let me just finish with the other timing, the other page that came in different. Miss Ursula says, Shawn, wishing you, Miss Raven, and all the Rock County friends a very happy Thanksgiving. Euclase is created during the decomposition of barrel. It made me wonder how long this process would take or what causes it. Decomposition of minerals, again, I had mentioned can be created from so many other things. Geothermal solutions is always a big one. In other words, hot solutions rising up from magmatic lava that come through the ground, picking up all kinds of other minerals and elements and slowly etching or decomposing the existing mineral into another one. And if you understand chemistry enough, it's done by ionic transfer and everything being in balance and whatnot. That's why you can get the same minerals, rearrange everything, add a few other additional atoms of each into a chemical composition, and you come out with a totally different looking mineral using the same elements. It's a really amazing stuff. So in that case, also the process determines if you have just a little bit of a geothermal solution coming through at different times. You get these different stages, as we've seen, like in phantom growths. And so you can have a short amount of time it can take, or it can stretch out millions of years. So it just depends on the geology of the area happening at the time. So he goes on, tenebrescence is another word for reverse photochromism, and one lucky person might find the Hackmanite specimen tucked into the signature GSN sock. I guess you missed out. Let's just say that I am grateful to own one of those fasted Mariolite parcels, since I missed out on a few items you featured this morning, like the Udilite or the gorgeous Sodalite. I know now that both of those items have sold, and many of you had wanted to get them, obviously, and didn't. Now I know at least the ones that didn't get the items I featured. Mariolite, boy, there's nothing like Mariolite and that family for fluorescence. It just glows under ultraviolet light. So, all right, she goes on to say, again, be well and enjoy some well-deserved quality time with your family during the upcoming holiday. My son comes Monday. He finally is back and is with his mom right now. And so the day you're watching the show right then is when he'll come. I only get to see him for a couple days. And then I come back and do the show. But then he goes on to my dad's up in LJ. I'm just really thrilled to get to see him. It's been a year and a half, and when he saw me, I actually was in the death throes of COVID, and yeah, so at least I'll be able to hug him now, which should be great. All right, so we have Mr. Anthony in Massachusetts. Hello all. That was a smart strategic move, showing the Ravens 2 pieces of beautiful Udilite jewelry, then breaking out that amazing Udilite specimen. I was drooling while dialing the phone, only to hear, sorry, sold out. Wow. He writes, been a fan of Udilite ever since you showcased that box. So he remembers that amazing box. I did score the Jade Cat's Eye Cab. I love Phenomenon gems, and Jade is my top 10 faves. And cut by Shawn is a win-win. And the Wessel Mine South Africa Sodalite. You got the West Africa Sodalite piece? That would be tempting to take a slice off of and cut something with it. The decomposition of barrel creates, I just know you know this, Mr. Anthony. You just were thinking something different at the very moment. Creates helidor, he said. So helidor, of course, is golden beryl, a variety of beryl, but not Euclase that we were looking for. So he gets a half star. Another word for reverse photochromism is tenebrescence. So he gets that part right. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Eyes down. Wow. Mr. Anthony, that is so cool to hear that you got that Sodalite specimen. I was wondering, and forgive me on the Jade Cat's Eye Cab. I wanted to polish up and finish the back of that when I did it a little bit more, but that was done at a very young, much younger age than I am now. So I got better in cutting along the way. I thought, well, what people don't see doesn't matter so much. And that is like cutting cat's eye crystal barrel. You always see those with the back. It's still just like the original crystal shape, because they go for all they care about is how it looks from above. And then they maximize the weight. So, I can kind of understand that. So on that jade piece, I could have finished up the back. I was thinking, this looks fine. I did put a really nice high polish on it on the top, which I thought, that's fine. So anyway, that's neat that you have that piece as a cutter. Enjoy that. Okay. Now, let's see. Did we cover everybody? All right. I think we did. All right. Now, we put all the winners in the hat. And this week we have pulled out Miss Gabby. Miss Gabby, you are this week's winner. And let me show you what you have won. Check this out. Let me stir these around a little bit and get them wet. And wow, this is amazing, amazing Ethiopian opal. And it is a batch of opal I have had, and it is quite crystalline. And as you can see, wow, look at some of these pieces. There is one piece here that I even thought about taking out, but I didn't. And Dave, let's show them this one piece here as part of the parcel, because this will give anyone trivia envy. This is natural piece, not smoked, natural black Ethiopian opal. And look at the colors in this. Look at the colors in this. So you have a, yeah, there we go. Look at it with the concordal fracture. It gives you a natural polish when you see that. And that's natural color. Oh, look at that. Look at that. And so, yeah, I'm sure that John, with no problem, could clean that up and make something that nice for it. And here, let's just look at the rest. The rest of these you can tumble, which I know you got one of my tumblers that when I had tumblers for sale one time. Oh yeah, I've sold about all kinds of stuff in here in all the shows we've done. There's a whole bunch of crystalline material here you can cut, or just, since most of them are shiny because of the concordal fracture, just the way they look even when they dry out, that you can just put them around something else in an opal display. Look at that's facet grade quality there, and have something kind of cool. All right, so I already know other people since I had. Let's go in close one more time here, Dave, before I take this away, because this has been one of the best parcels that I will have given away free. So as for new people watching from YouTube, if you have not participated in the trivia, I suggest you do, because look at this. This is facet grade, high quality cutting material in a lot of these pieces, and the other ones are still beautiful and can be used as display pieces, unless you just want to, cut it and break them down in small pieces. But look at that stuff. So anyway, oddly enough, if I remember right, I think that Miss Gabby collects opal in different forms, and I'm sure this will make a great addition to her collection. This is the money stone there. That's something I could have sold individually for, for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. All right, let me tuck those away and we'll start the show. All right, from my garnet collection. For those of you that are new to the show, and hopefully there's a lot of you and will continue to be, and sorry for that to the regular rock family, because I know that adds more pressure on getting the items that you want. Well, anyway, over the 50 years or so that I have been collecting and rocks and minerals since the age of 11, and becoming a master lapidary, master goldsmith, over all that time, I focused my collection on two groups of minerals besides collecting everything else. And they were what I call the Made in America collection, pieces from the United States. The other part of the collection, which was spanned the globe, was garnets, which were and are my birthstone, and with the 6 different families of garnets, with none of them really being able to be synthesized, which is a big no-no for me. I'm a purist, and those synthetic gems, I don't know, I just can't really get into them. Which, by the way, if you're not familiar with Gem Shopping Network's policy, is unless it's in an antique or estate piece and part of its historical creation, we sell nothing in either loose or mounted jewelry that is synthetic. And nothing here at Gem Shopping. No synthetic diamonds, no synthetic anything else. So, and strict policy regarding that. That said, of course, you're not going to find anything fake here. We are from the ground up. You're going to see things that express exactly the way Mother Nature made them. And then what man did to them to additionally add brilliance and then later into jewelry. And for example, this is how a Azurite garnet started its life as a crystalline form in a dodecahedron pattern. This is a partial crystal, as you can see. A stunning, beautiful, bright color. These will also, and we tried to see if we couldn't show it and fluoresce it for you here on the show, but it glows a nice, beautiful orange fluorescence, which is one of its trademarks. The other thing is these are mined often in the same vein, in the same shaft as tanzanite, Azurite, garnet. Zoisite, the purple zoisite variety. And on some pieces, you can actually see some of the zoisite or the tanzanite with it. This, if you look, looks like there's some zoisite right along the edge. You can see a little bit of a purplish color. There's also one of its trademarks. Look at this. This is one of the rare places you'll find native and natural graphite. Graphite, hardness of 1. Isn't that amazing? Graphite is pure carbon. So you go from pure carbon and hardness of 1 to hardness of 10 in a diamond, which there's not even a close second. And corundum in the real hardness scale is actually diamond is 4 times harder than technically corundum, whereas on the Mohs scale, it just goes from a 9 to a 10. So anyway, it's neat because you have graphite, and if I wanted to, I could actually scrape that off with my finger, or I've demonstrated that I can actually take this on a piece of paper and draw with it, and wonderful. So beautiful, beautiful showcasing of graphite with it. It is from the Mariolite Hills, which is right where, of course, the tanzanite is found, and a good bit of this material is found actually in Block D as well. So I would bet that there is zoisite right along there. You can see the color tone. There is another mineral, diopside, that can be found, which is a lighter green with this material as well. So I looked for it and didn't see any right offhand, but if you were to find some, it would be, see like the differences in color? It's between that green and that green. And that's how subtle and a little bit of a difference oftentimes it is. So here is a wonderful, wonderful example and crystalline form. These have done nothing but gone way up in price and value. This is considered a large one, and in matrix, I really like. It always just displays kind of pretty, and the additional information with the graphite. Oh, also, this we didn't show you. I don't know how close we'd have to come, but there's pyrite. Oh, there we go. We're going to be close enough. Good job. There is pyrite associated with this as well. So if you get to looking at it really close, you know, that's another crystal of something right there. Right there is another crystal of something. When it's shaped like that and kind of distinct in the middle of anything else. So there's going to be some pyrite. The graphite is just shiny, like it as well. It's kind of making it difficult to spot. But if I had, oh, there's also, looks like another. That may be the pyrite right there. Right there. I see a nice metallic reflection off of there. That's the pyrite. I can see it right there. How cool is that, huh? Oh yeah, look at that, purple. Definitely tanzanite as well, which make sure you go by my voice because I don't have all that information in the tag, in the description of the tag. I used all the space up. $118, only $118 on that. Neat, neat, neat. Great, great price on a really unusual and rare treasure. Now, before I get to the next item, I wanted to show you an item that had been for sale, but Raven and I are pulling it off the sale rack, and it was even marked down for sale. This was one of 3 pieces, and she was pulling it out, and she just said, oh, this is a really neat piece. Do we have to sell this one? Well, what I'm going to show you right now is, this is only for demonstration and educational purposes only. For those of you that have bought the epidote before, and I know there's been, I think Miss Penny got a flat of it. Mr. Anthony got an entire flat of this exact epidote from Morocco. They made some of the smartest purchases because if we go in close on this, I want to show you, this was just one of the random 3 that we had for sale in a parcel that we were offering. All right, for one thing, you get this other crystal, which is neat to find with some of these, all right? And I believe that to be a feldspar, all right? Remember, I had shown you on some another specimen where there was tan zircons found in it. Well, I didn't have much chance to look at this for those, but what I found to make me decide that it wasn't going to be for sale at this point, and for those of you who have bought these epidotes, I want you to go to all your epidotes, and I want you to look for not only the zircons that could be found in them, but there's another mineral that I discovered on these that I have yet, look at how some of these beautiful greens, I have yet to figure out exactly, because I only discovered it this morning. And let's go to right here. And there is one of them. There is scattered yellow crystals that are, and if I can find a good group of them, you'll be able to easily see them. Let's see. And wow, that's some great camera work there. Look at actually those other crystals in there. It makes me wonder what the brown ones are. But we're going to come across them in a minute here. And here we go. There's one of them right there. You can see it. They're real distinct. And there is actually quite a few of them when you get to looking and realize what they look like. Then they just start popping out. Now, I used a loop, a jeweler's loop, which brought me right down close to it and could look really well at it. I love how translucent and transparent some of these epidotes are. For those of you that got in on this deal when I was offering entire flats of them, did really, really well versus what this material is worth now. And let me just look for one more minute, because there's just a whole lot to actually view. Oh, here's the other thing. Great to remind me. Now, we're not going to be able to get close enough. When I first thought about cleaning this up, I looked closely at the beige tan material thinking it was dirt. No, there are little acicular, meaning needle-like crystals coming out from this material all over it. And that is the other thing I wanted to determine what they are before I went to scrubbing on any more of it, because that is something really special. See that right down in there? There's another yellow crystal tucked down in there. They're these odd yellow crystals that they could be calcites. Look at this one right there. They could be calcites, or they could be something else. I thought maybe diopside, but I had not concluded on that. But isn't that beautiful to see all that? And we offered entire flat, wasn't much more than, it was $100 and something. And you got 20 or 30 specimens. It was amazing. But what I'm discovering is, thank you, sir, there's a lot more to look at than meets the eye. And so that's something I didn't do that I should have looked at all those much closer. All right, let's look now at something closer. Item number 1039621. 1039621. So all of you with epidotes that you had gotten from me, look at them closer. Tell me what you find. Take a look at what I found. Look at this. Look at this. And if you think it's two different colors, you are right. This is an amazing specimen, and it was in my personal collection. If I decide, I think I'm going to part with it. All right, what you have, if you look at it from the bottom. Okay, now this is just another kind of additional growth. But you can see, look at the 6 sides, right? Look at the 6 sides to that crystal. It's pink. It's pink morganite. Okay, talk about beryl, which we were. We talked about the different colors of beryl. This is natural color. Remember, a lot of aquamarine is heated to drive off the green color tone. I have no doubt if this wasn't heated, it would do the same. But look what has happened. You have the morganite has grown around an aquamarine crystal. And if you look at this from above, look at just the green part. If we come in a little closer, you're going to see, there we go, the 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides to the aqua. And then look at the morganite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sides of the morganite. This morganite grew around the existing aqua crystal, and the aqua crystal terminated naturally. This isn't broken off or anything. This is the way it ended, and you can see that there is schorl or black tourmaline crystals up here. Also, some other interesting crystals as well that could be, oh, look at them coming down here. So I looked at this under shortwave, and I think I discovered that this was some fluorescent feldspar, and there also may be some calcites, but you can see the crystalline form to all this. Look at that. You see the little growths right there. And, oh, look at that. Look at that one. You have a crystal right there. Crystals growing in there. You know, there is other things that look at that 6-sided crystal right there. You know, there could be calcites, there could be feldspars. This is the curious one to me. Look at the reflections on those. There is a bundle of crystals right here that I'm not exactly sure what they are. I wanted to make them out to be quartz, and they really didn't pass my quartz test. I wanted to be beryl, but they didn't pass my beryl test. So I'm not sure. Something quite interesting. But the main culo rulo thing was that aquamarine with the morganite growing around it. Very cool. Very cool. And that morganite's a really neat pink lilac type of color tone. Look at how big that is. And look at the reflection off of it. In other words, very, very attractive. With that kind of chatoyancy on a crystal, that's the kind of crystal, if you actually cut it, turn it this way and cut it, will often give you a cat's eye effect. But I think the morganite and aqua in one is a very special piece, especially when I tell you the price. And I don't even know why I'm making it the price that I am. But, you know, that's just me. Let's see, what else? Did I tell you everything else? Yeah, feldspar, glow, shortwave, red. All right, $88. $88. I kid you not. That specimen, 3 times that, 4 times that. It'd be one of those, go find another. Go find another one because, yeah, one growing around the other, good luck with that. All right, now, I'm not even actually sure why I made it only $88 myself. But that's me. That's why you love the show and why you trust Gem Shopping, because we stand behind everything that we offer. Now, this next guy, item number 1039121. 1039121. Look at this. And Dave is going to be the master of ceremonies for taking us inside this jewel and showing us everything we have. Let's look at this. Look at this. Okay, for one, you see that sheen, that reflection all on one level like that? I'll tell you about that in a moment. Look at the azurite and the malachite. Look at the crystalline malachite. How close can we go on this? This is, look at the azurite colors. Look at those colors. And then this is truly a collector specimen. And you have a ferric dolomite with iron. And you also have all these little crystalline patterns here that I'm thinking are calcites. Look at, those are all little red crystals that you see here. Yellow crystals, which need to further identification. Look at the malachite. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the crystalline nature going along there. Okay, so it's calcite. There's calcite over most of this piece, and a lot of this is dolomite. And you can see that you have those crystal growths up like that, that a lot of it looks very much like selenite, but I did not see where there was selenite being associated with these minerals at this location. So calcites were the ones that were covering and giving a neat coverage to it. Now I'm getting to the best part. Yeah, you were just looking at the backside, so to speak. Look at this. Look at the size of these azurite crystals. And they have not been taken, pseudomorphed over by the malachite, which is rare. Look at those. Look at how well formed they are. That is something you don't see often. Many times when they get them this large and this pretty, they will actually remove and excavate away some of the surrounding, see, like this, dolomite, to reveal more of the crystals. It's specimen preparation, which can take time, but really improve the look. You have no idea what some of these specimens that you actually see in cabinets and that are for sale. You look how beautiful they are. Well, they'll have many, many, many hours of specimen preparation time in them. And a lot of people think like, wow, that's amazing. But they don't always come out of the ground like that. This one, if someone wanted to take the time, look at this covering that crystal, you could go in and remove all kinds of this other material around this and have what looks like a stunning crystal cluster of azurites. Look at over here. Look at these additional crystals, large crystals of azurite. Beautiful formation with the coloring of the other azurite and the malachites. These are fantastic. And I wanted to see, Dave, for a second, just exactly there we go. I can see the color, the edge of the color. Look at that. Look at that. So you can see in those crystals that appeared very dark, just how intense and saturated the blue is. It's there. It is there. And look at that. What looked a dark inky color, you can really see what the actual color in what we call a transmitted light, and how they are stunning. Thank you, sir. Just stunning. What a piece. All right, so you get to see it as a whole, how big this is, how much is going on with it. That, reflection on the same plane like that, really showing a calcite coating. And this one as well. Look at that. I can't imagine what else would be coating it. Look at that. See, all on it. Every bit of it for the most part. Look at how large those azurite crystals are. This is a really incredible specimen from every side. From every side. It has something to show and a story to tell. And there's probably some really, there we go. That is a great way, natural way to display that piece. Look at those large azurites. Stunning. This piece would bring considerable amount of money from the dealers that think, which are most of them, think a lot of their specimens. But for me, as long as I've collected and as far as I go back, knowing, I was always one that I couldn't afford the specimens I wanted. But I, from this end now, want to make them affordable so that, you know, you can afford the specimens that you normally wouldn't be able to. So take advantage of them. This one is an amazing opportunity at only $128. $128. And that is a just a wonderful, wonderful representation of so many parts. I mean, you have the limonite, you have the malachite, there's probably crystalline malachite. There's all those pockets for you to explore and look at closely. Look at this, just in every different way. Oh, by the way, I think this darker material, oxidized material here, is going to be hematite, or a chalcopyrite, decomposed chalcopyrite, which provided the iron for the coloring of the dolomite. Oh, see these? There's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I would bet so. I would bet there's another source right there. I bet that is decomposed chalcopyrite, just for you information. $128 on that. All right, love that piece. Love that piece. Now, let's go with a Made in America piece. Item 1039021. Boy, my eyes. Gotta go to the eye doctor. Yeah, 1039021. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Utah Kona Calcite, and guess what? This is going to add a new crystal specimen, a new mineral specimen to your collection. Mixite. And I am showing you the Mixite right now. This Mixite is a beautiful, beautiful baby blue color. And Mixite, you normally would think, okay, that name, naturally displays itself that way. That it would be called Mixite because there's a mix of copper minerals in it. So hence Mixite, right? No. Can you believe this? It's actually named in honor of an Anton Mixa. That was the guy's name. It was a Czech Republic mining engineer during the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, which was prior to World War I. And he had a lot to do with their mining as an engineer, and so got a mineral named after him. Now, what is so unusual about this Mixite is it is a bismuth cupric arsenate, which is really bizarre. You do not see bismuth. Now, bismuth, by the way, is that specimen that you'll see. Beautiful, beautiful iridescent colors, and they have those kind of triangular shaped crystals that grow on top of one another. Well, you know, those are grown synthetically, but it is bismuth is what they use to grow those specimens synthetically. And they're always good sellers at shows because they have a nice crystalline pattern and they have that iridescence. And you probably know what I'm talking about, but you won't find them from me. This Kona Calcite from the Gold Hill mine, that mine produces the finest Kona Calcite in the world, and I was fortunate and lucky enough to be smart enough to buy a flat of it, and we're still working on that flat. This particular specimen is another one than Miss Barbara will like because there is a calcite coating over much of it that will protect this as well. Mixite. So it has bismuth, copper, and a arsenic, looks like a sulfate, and really unusual. The Kona Calcite is a calcium carbonate arsenate. The name for Kona Calcite, another one that gives you information because it's based on the Greek word konos for powder. And we all know chalcos is the Greek word from, you remember, chalcopyrite. Chalcos, the Greek word for copper. That's one you're going to remember from chalcopyrite, adding copper, of course, to the pyrite mix of in the chemical composition. So they gave it the name basically copper powder due to the composition and the appearance of Kona Calcite. looked that way because Kona Calcite crystals are never large. Look at these. This is some of the largest that I've had. And if you look right in here, there is an incredible cluster of them that is one of the largest kind of formations of them I've seen. Now, I'm going to try something right here because it's worth it to see if I can show you that, wow, right here. Look at that. Yes, that is worth it. Okay, because I couldn't write this down, so you have to go by the information I tell you so you know what's going on here. All right, you see the Kona Calcite normally forms only little round spheres. When you see it elongated, like you see these elongated stalks of it, most of those are formed around another mineral. Now, I didn't put this in the descriptor, so you need to go by and listen to what I said. What I say, the Kona Calcite has grown up another mineral called olivenite. Olive, that's how it's spelled, olivenite. So it's olive night. And that's exactly how you spell it, olive night. And it would be pronounced olivenite. And that is another mineral that grows in a circular needle-like crystal. And that is how you get the Kona Calcite. Look at those on those stalks. So it's a very rare event to occur. And you want to take note of that. Look at that. This is the way Kona Calcite, look at it, thanks. Excellent, amazing camera work. Kona Calcite will form just little spheres like you see here. When you start getting elongated ones like that, they're forming, look at that. Incredible camera work. Look at that. So they are growing on something, on top of something. And it is olivenite that gives you that formation. Other than that, this is what you have is right there. That is how you find most all of your Kona Calcite, just little spherical growths. Now, let me show you. Oh, look at that. More Kona Calcite. I can't get that color is mesmerizing. All right, let's go to the Mixite. This is how you know it's Mixite and not chrysocolla. If we look at this as close as we can, okay, for one thing, look at that shine. See that shininess in the background? That's calcite. This has grown on top of the calcite. Now, Mixite, you can see there's a botryoidal formation to it, right? So it's not just a smattering of it. It is actually a formation. And under high enough magnification, and this, I think, gets us there, you can see under even higher magnification is how I found it. There's another disc you can see on this that says 60 in the top left corner. And I don't think I can get this flat enough to show that to you, but you know what? I'm just going to actually try that. Let's go with the small disc and see if there's anything to your left there, Dave. There you go. Here we go. If I can see that at all. I should have cleaned it beforehand, but it may not be a workable experiment, which it doesn't look like it. Let's just use that. There we go. All right. There we go. Perfectly. If I had a third hand coming right out of, okay, here we go. Maybe I can do it. Dave, you had it right in focus. This is what you're looking for identification of Mixite. You see these two areas right there. You see those little arms, those little tentacles coming out of that material. Under higher magnification, you can look at it even better. Now, here's how it's supposed to look like. If this had not been through everything it had been through, these needles would be sticking up. They'd be beautifully arrayed, but because the tenderness of getting a specimen out like that, normally these crystals only exist back in pockets when you see the filming of them so beautiful, because other than that, they just get smushed down. But when they do, you can still see the little arms coming out of this material, which would have been the acicular needles growing from the Mixite. This is incredible stuff and adds a new mineral to your collection. And as we look at the rest of this specimen, this is stunning. Oh yeah, look, it gets better. Look at the quartz crystals. There's beautiful, beautiful quartz crystals around this. And over here, okay, yes, listen to my voice because I didn't have room. If we zoom in right here on this part, this gives you one other cool mineral on this piece. And guess what that is? That is chrysocolla forming over the top of Kona Calcite. Something else that can happen, not often, but it does happen. That is chrysocolla. So if you get this specimen, remember all this so you can write it down. There's some chrysocolla right there. That's chrysocolla. It's just forming a thin layer over the top of the Kona Calcite. You can see, look at that intense mineralization. And this kind of specimen only comes from Gold Hill Mine in Utah. In Utah. There is other minerals associated with this piece, and I'm going to let you, limonite's probably in there. Look at this. That yellow-orange, that's just not like dirt. There is a formation to that. So I would go in and look at it closer. There is some manganese oxides probably right there. Look at that. Could be goethite as well. Have fun with it because I did. And now that I did the hard work, you'll get to have some of the easier work on this. Basically, if you go in, you can photograph some of those pictures and do it easily with a phone with that other attachment that I showed you. Price on this one, a awesome opportunity, especially because of the Mixite on there. Only $88. Only $88. It was out of all the Kona Calcite that I had, the one that I had put back for my collection to keep because of the Mixite. It was just something that all the other specimens, none of them had the Mixite on it. And that made it that special. And when I realized even more information about it being bismuth and all that, yeah, had to keep it. Now I'm sharing it. 1038921. 1038921. Wait till you see this, you fluorescent collectors. This would be one you want to pay some attention to. Take a look at this. Let's clean off this pad. And wow, okay. Afghani Aween. Aween. And what you have is, in the white, you have the Garnetite, which we know is a type of zeolite, and it is pseudomorphing or replacing the Aween. Now, the Aween, a lot of Aween crystals aren't real well defined. They can look something very much like this. And as we come in closer on this piece, you'll see that there is a crystalline shape to those. And look at this formation in the total sense of it. And you can see, it gets better. Look at these crystals. Look at these crystals back here. And with the white, that happens with Aween. It can be partially replaced with Garnetite. And you've heard of that before because of the zeolites having it. And in the basalt. And in this case, it is found with Aween. Now, there's a lot of other good things going on with this piece. You can see there's additional crystals there, phlogopite, mica, but in this case, pyrite. You have oxidized pyrite crystals right here. Now, when they're oxidized like that, it tells you that this piece was exposed to the air, in other words, to the surface at some point. Look at all the neat little crystals of the Aween that have formed like that. That's really interesting. And let me see what kind of, okay. For those of you that have talked about that you have a little faceted Aween, I remember I've sold you those. I've sold those little Aweens and the little tiny ones, and they go for a fortune. Well, now you can see the kind of material they use to cut them from. Look at that color. that would rival the finest of any sapphire, And by the light being able to pass through that much material and still be visible, you can see that in a small stone, that there would be quite a few that this would cut that would probably be very transparent. Look at the crystals back in here. Look at that back in here. Look how cool it is. Thank you, sir. Wow. Wow. All right, so you saw how blue it was even through the Garnetite. Now, so this would be a piece that would be very tempting to me. Look at that. Oh, to want to cut some of it. But, you know, I don't know. Can we go in close on this for a moment, sir? This, as expensive as those little alweens are that are faceted, is what would make me tempted. A 30 or 40 point stone of alween would be, wow, a lot of money. Like a grandidierite that would be of a great clarity. Look at this piece on the back. I'm looking at the clarity of this and I'm wondering, why on earth am I selling this when I know I could cut a stone out of that if I wanted to and have something amazing? Or this one. And maybe that's why, anyway. This is beautiful. You can see the pyrites, and you have this on a base. Oh, okay. So the fluorescence on this. Alween is one of those. It's kind of a complicated situation when it comes to alween, lazurite, sodalite, and that group, because they're very closely associated. Now, in this piece, okay, as sulfide replaces sulfate, it causes it to fluoresce. And also become opaque. So a sulfide to a sulfate is an S2, 2 atoms of sulfur. A sulfate is SO2. So it's 2 molecules of sulfur and oxygen together. And that makes a big difference chemically when these elements, these minerals, alter themselves, or in the case of like barrel, decompose. So this alween is not always fluorescent. It can lose its fluorescent and become opaque and becomes real lazurite. Now follow me on this. If it is sulfide dominant, then it can be considered lazurite. Now listen to me. None have ever found to be all lazurite. So basically all the lapis lazuli, which I predict at one point that name will become more obsolete, a name not used. I don't know. It probably will always still be used, but technically it is not a lazurite because it has to have a certain percentage of sulfur. It has to be sulfide dominant, and none have ever been found. So this is alween, and anything that's really labeled lazurite or lapis is really an alween or part of the alween family, even though lazurite is still going to be commonly used. It is an incorrect use of it when they talk about chemical terms. All right, just want to make that clear because we have some other things to talk about that are going to be regarding this same family. This beautiful, beautiful piece of matrix that it's on is fluorescent calcite. And also, this has Mariolite. Beautiful, beautiful Mariolite. And Mariolite, will fluoresce a incredible orange color tone. And you're going to see that in this piece having a incredible fluorescence to it. So as a fluorescent collector, this is a real score for you. And for the rarity of the Alwine as well. In this particular piece, there's 5 minerals. There's fluorescent Mariolite, fluorescent calcite, and fluorescent Alwine. Then it has pyrite and garnardite. Only $77 on that. $77. And you have the ability to get a high-grade facet quality stones out of that. And I'm not sure why I didn't just say $177. It certainly would be well worth that. And you're going to find that this is Mariolite. And again, a treasure of mine that, $77. Take advantage of it. Okay, now follow the rest of my showcasing here because it all sticks with the same family. Item number 1039221. 1039221. And what I'm going to show you is outrageous. This is one of the finest specimens. This would be a world-class piece. Absolutely world-class. And I even have that and used part of the room I have on the tag to make sure I got world-class in there. Because in doing my research about it, there wasn't anything else that I found that came really close to everything going on in this piece. Now, Sodalite is a feldspathoid. It is related to Hackmanite. Now, the purists, of course, will call this Hackmanite when the sulfides, remember that I talked about? When the sulfides replace chlorine in the chemical makeup of the sodalite. And I'll show you that really quickly. Look here. Here's the chemical makeup of sodalite. Sodium, silicon, aluminum, oxygen. And at the very end, chlorine. Hackmanite. It becomes Hackmanite when sulfides replace some of the chlorine at the end of that formula. Look at this. Mariolite. This is how minerals get associated together because you have all the same minerals. They just play, what is it? Hot potato or the revolving chair game. What's that called? Musical chairs. Yeah, what's it called? Musical chairs. Yes, musical chairs with the elements. Mariolite, sodium, aluminum, silicon, oxygen, chlorine. Look at that. All the same elements. They are just rearranged with a different number of each one, and it becomes Mariolite. Now, let me show you. This piece not only has Mariolite, but it has something much more rare. It has a new mineral to add to your collection that you probably don't have, because I had to add it and create it in the in our inventory system. Nepheline. Nepheline is Greek for cloudy, because nephel is the word for cloudy because it turns cloudy in acid. In acid, nepheline turns cloudy. So hence the Greek word they gave it, nepheline. It is again, a chemical formula very similar to Mariolite and the others that I showed you. It's got a hexagonal crystal system and a hardness of 5 to 5.5. Here's the cool thing. It fluoresces amazingly. Let's go in and show you. Now, I didn't even bring up the sodalite. This beautiful Afghani sodalite. Look at these crystals. You didn't think sodalite could crystallize, did you? I know you didn't. You're used to seeing sodalite in the big, massive blocks or pieces that you can carve decoratively and whatnot. But that is not always pure sodalite. Yes, look at this. This is pure sodalite. in pure sodalite form, it does not fluoresce, okay? Because there's no crystal, there's no replacement of a sulfide ions with the chlorine in this case. You have, therefore, a incredible crystal formation to sodalites. Here's the cool thing, though. These fluoresce a yellowish white. Look at the nepheline crystals and look at how well formed all of the nepheline is. Look at that, intermingled with the sodalite. And then if we look at the side, you can see the nepheline. Look at these crystals, how beautifully crystallized they all are. Like almost teeth. Look at that, sticking up. Now, look at that. Here, look at that beautiful nepheline crystal. Look at that one. They are so, look at that. Look at the termination on that one. So perfectly formed and look exactly like what a nepheline crystal should be. There's actually in Mindat a specimen that I had to look to see if it wasn't this exact one that a picture was taken of, because it looked identical for their representation of nepheline and sodalite together. It was really cool. That's when I knew I had the exact origin, source, and everything. Now, let me show you. Okay, there is the sodalite that you're kind of used to seeing, right? That more like that versus the beautiful crystals on the top. Look at the difference here. You see this yellowish color line? For one thing, also look at the additional mineralization on this. You have pyrite there. Isn't that neat? Beautiful pyrite. All right, you see this yellow color? This is Mariolite. This is Mariolite, and oh my, it is so cool, because guess what? For you fluorescent lovers, you have to have this one, because it is a stunning red under shortwave fluorescence. Stunning red, and under long wave, it is almost a chartreuse yellow. It is bizarre. One of the biggest differences between shortwave and long wave I have seen in any mineral. And boy, made me interested. This would actually cut a nice cabochon. So as we come further back away from this piece, you can see, look at how much of this is the Mariolite, and what a incredible difference in fluorescence of the two, shortwave and long wave, between you get a red and a chartreuse kind of yellow. And then with the crystals like that and the beautiful sodalite, it sits, self-displays at an incredible angle. Price on this is like no other you'll ever come across. Only take advantage of it. If you want something super, super unique, $168, and that'll be one that, again, try to find another one. With the information I gave you, you should understand that piece better, and also understand the difference between sodalite and hackmanite, all right? And why the hackmanite and the awine are all similar and can fluoresce, but you get to the sodalite and it doesn't. Well, that's because of that chlorine ion on the end of it. Yet Mariolite has that, and has a just a different chemical arrangement, and that's all it takes. And that's all it takes to have something that looks completely different. So now, item number 1039321, sticking with something fluorescent, which you've seen that a lot more things are fluorescent than you ever realized. Well, guess where fluorescence got its name from? Well, this next item, look at this. This is one of the finest pieces of fluorite I have had. And you're saying, what are you talking about? Yeah, let me tell you why. And there's a little window as to why. It is, let's look right in here. And then let me put some backlighting on this, and we'll see if we can't see into this. Here we go. This is what I wanted you to see. You were picking up, look at that. You were picking up color tones from the rock, from the matrix itself. what I wanted to show you is this is absolutely a clear white. And if you can see in that little window right there, you can actually look way all around and realize, thank you, sir, that this, wow, hold on a minute. This would facet an amazing, huge, huge, clear white fluorite. Thank you. And clear fluorite. Fluorite's another one of those minerals that's allochromatic, that in its pure form, it is clear and white and no color, but it takes addition of impurities to give it color. And this large of a section to be a clear white color would be amazing, because as you look here and as we come in on the muscovite mica, now I took a brush and I cleaned a lot of this out of here in only a few minutes. So if you wanted to scrub this kind of yellowish matrix powder out of here, you could, and you could improve the look of the specimen. There's actually a calcite crystals on here that fluoresce amazingly. This piece fluoresces beautifully purple like no other, but the actual color is a clear white. If you took this off, it would be okay, because the specimen isn't that fantastic. Look at this little neat bunch of white crystals here. You know, as soon as I say that, I always regret it, because, you know, I'm one of those as a cutter, you know, they have to use some material up for cutting, right? So there's been great specimens ruined, beautiful tourmaline crystals that were cut into stones. They have to get the material. You have to end up cutting some crystals. This would be one, because the rest of this isn't that great. If you wanted to facet a huge fluorite, which is always something fun to do and to have, this could be that piece that would be okay, because you're not paying for the specimen in the matrix as an aesthetic look. At least I'm not charging you for it. So price on this piece is worth it for the clear fluorite in itself. It's only $58, and certainly worth that for the rarity of the clear fluorite and for adding it to a fluorescent collection, if nothing else. Now, item you know what? I am going to tuck that away safely, and I'll be right back. This is another one of my deep in the goodie bag treasures. Wow. And because there's a particular birthstone involved in there, that's why I have it. This is from Pakistan, and it has pretty much everything you would want in a specimen from that area, because it combines an extra item that you don't often get, and that is the spessartine garnets. It is also, well, it has 5 minerals. 5 minerals. Look at this. That is aquamarine. Yes, aquamarine. Beautiful shoral black tourmaline, albite feldspar, and calcite. Let's go in close, and I'm going to show you and mesmerize you. Look at the clarity of that aqua crystal. Looks very close to facet grade, but of course, in a specimen like this, you would never use that kind of aqua and break down a specimen like this to cut it. The little orange crystals, spessartine garnets, the black shoral tourmaline. As you're looking at the spessartines, look at this. I know I'm going to put a price up on this right now, because I know you're going to be running to the telephone. $128 only. Only $128. Look at this. Look at the dodecahedron. This is remarkable. A remarkable specimen. And something like this, and you could actually do it if you wanted to. You see this? This is one for an example, and let me get my pointer. Okay, there is a coating of calcite that formed over an albite crystal, and Dave is showing us perfectly what I want to. Okay, you see this, how dull this is all across there? That is the layer of calcite. Now this will throw you off because that can often like fluoresce, so you think you got an entire crystal of calcite. No, you got to look a little closer. That is a thin layer of calcite covering a feldspar crystal, an albite. You can see the difference in color of the white. Now, I'm not going to do it because I'll let you do it, but if you wanted to, you could actually flake off that coating. I actually did it on a couple of the shorals, like down here. See this? You can actually flake off some of that coating if you want to reveal some more of the tourmaline. Because look at this. As you can see, you have a lot of that calcite that is grown over the tourmaline. But how cool is that? Look at that crystal right there, covered up. I think that is so cool to kind of see that. And you can see on the end that that's a black crystal that it has covered. Kind of like I always say down here, it's kind of like the kudzu in the south. This invasive vine we have that if you're standing still long enough in a field, it'll just cover you up overnight. It's Raven says the dirty word when she says, "Oh, I think it's pretty," because down here in the south it's the scourge. But they make jelly and they make furniture out of it. Other than that, it's a scourge. Look at this. Look at this crystal of tourmaline growing right with that aqua associated with garnets. Look at down here. Oh, Dave, take us right down here. Look at that. Look at that crystal. That the aquamarine, well, which came first? It's hard to say. I would say that the aqua had to, of course, cover the tourmaline. So part of the tourmaline had to be there first. Look at that. That is just so neat down in there. And I had not actually spotted that before. That's because there's so much to look at in this piece from so many different angles. Okay, look at this. Look at this perfectly sharp angled crystal. You can see, and you see the adulorescence, from the, moonstone-like reflection that many of the feldspars will give you. And then you can see again, right there, the coating of the calcite. This piece, I counted 5 different minerals so far, but I had spent enough time. Can we go down right in this little, okay. Look at these additional crystals that have grown over something else. Who knows what really lies underneath some of that? It could be another mineral altogether. It could be an aqua, because there is many of them, many that have that growth over them. Oh, I thought for a moment I just saw look at the size. We did not see those garnets earlier. Look at the size of those garnets. And see, like if you wanted to, you could peel off the calcite off the, you could open and expose that entire crystal if you so desired. But I'll let you do that because that's part of specimen preparation. And believe it or not, professionally, that's actually probably what they would do. The professional people that want to bring out the best aesthetics to a piece like this, they do go in and they alter it a lot from what Mother Nature had originally often done. Like this, they would clean out and clean around it. You got to be careful though, because a lot of times this other thin material is what will be holding the entire piece together or parts of it. So it is certainly someone that needs, have to have experience, or you learn as you go. Look at all these garnets dotting all around here. This is one amazing specimen for only $128. That could be 3 times that, and it wouldn't be too much money at all. Now, speaking of something stunning and amazing, let me show you. Wow. 1038521. 1038521. Look at this. And if you think it is what it is, you're right. It is Rhodochrosite. It is sweet home Rhodochrosite. Not that deep, rich color. Of course, you know, everybody sees sweet home and they always see the fine, rich, deep color reds and all. But there is another whole level of Rhodochrosites that are just as gorgeous that are in the pink color zones. Look at this as we go in closer. There is Rhodochrosites dotting this piece. Look at that, tucked down in that bug. What are they wrapped around? There is Fluorite that will fluoresce an amazing purple color. And you can see Fluorites all around. This is one of those pieces you can spend hours with magnification or without, looking at everything going on. Okay, now, this piece has pyrite, fluorite, sphalerite, quartz, and rhodochrosite that I have found so far on it. There is often galena and tetrahedrite associated with this kind of mineralization as well. Look at down in there. Look at the fluorites, and then look at those rhodochrosites. That beautiful baby pink. Here's the neat stuff. Here's the neat stuff. Look at where the fluorite has grown over the rhodochrosites. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let me get a pointer. This piece, as we look in right here, you can see down in here that, look at that. You have, see that? That is fluorite that has grown around rhodochrosite crystals. This is amazing, amazing Mother Nature. Over here, this is your sphalerite. Here are your sphalerite crystals. And look for some tetrahedrites that could possibly be mixed in as well. Look up the crystal system so you can see the difference. You have pyrite scattered. I think it's so cool to see all the different little areas of rhodochrosite. Yeah, we haven't even gotten to all of it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the rhodochrosite. And the very, very light purple color tone. And remember, fluorescence. Beautiful fluorescence you're going to get from the fluorite. Wow, look at that. It's, you know, one of those pieces that every way you turn it, there is something else to enjoy looking at it. That's the most intense color tone right there. That's really what gives it away, that rhombohedral of that color tone as being rhodochrosites. And then if you look at the associated minerals for the Sweet Home mine, this tags them all. Really, really a beautiful collector piece of mine that I've had. Let me just show it to you in my hand so you get an idea of how big it is. And when I look at most of the specimens that are being offered, you know, when you look at the pictures, they look, oh, so big and all, just as if I'd gone in and zoomed in and put the picture up of those. It would look completely different than in real life. So I always look at the measurements of these specimens that in my reference manuals. And it's amazing that by far and large, most of them are no larger than the dimensions of that. They give them in millimeters. Remember, 25.4 millimeters to an inch. Very important, so you can really calculate it and transfer millimeters to measurement that you might understand better as far as inches go. 25.4. All right. I don't need to say much more than this. It speaks for itself. Price on this guy, only $118. $118. An exceptional value on a piece that is getting rarer and rarer. Remember, the Sweet Home mine has been closed for a number of years now. And so these older specimens are just getting more rare by the moment. And that is one that has really a little bit of everything that you're looking for in a Sweet Home piece going for it. So, yeah, treasure that one. Now, let me show you something. Here's something fun. Only one I have. 1039421. 1039421. I only have one of these, and I'm just offering them as a set. It's a soap dish and jar or toothbrush holder, or however way you want to look at it. But this is really neat. It's the Orthoceruses and Gonatites, all natural fossil piece. And you can see this is carved out of one piece of fossil material. And how cool is that? With the lid, Gonatite, these lived 400 million years ago. The Gonatite predated the Ammonite, belonged to the same family. The Orthoceruses is a type of belemnite and related to squids and the cephalopod family, and they're the long, narrow ones. I see mostly Gonatites on this piece, but there's a little part of the right there. You can see of the Orthocerus bodies. There's some little Orthocerus cross sections. This is neat because they carved the Gonatite right in the particular place. I have one. I use it for a soap dish, and it works great because this, being a silica-based fossil stone versus carbonate-based fossil stone. Like carbonate-based fossil stone is more the material that you will see that they carve, like the floor at the, we have a museum here that is all fossil stone, but it's the carbonate-based fossil stone, which is fine until you get any kind of acid on it. If you spill lemonade on the floor of it would remove the polish. Any kind of acids like that in a carbonate, it would remove the polish. And this kind of silica, no, silica stone can survive so many other type of, like, you could never put anything acidic, even wine or anything in something like this. It would strip away any polish, vinegar, any kind of things like that. But that's why this kind of silica stone will hold up much better. Anyway, this is the only set I have. $38 for the two pieces. These were specially selected from our own collection that we had, and because they were real unusual. We like the unusual striping to that. Nothing else had the striping. The placement of just a single fossil there. And you can just see the placement of that particular fossil there. It was just a special set of two, $38. All right, let me take a moment break here and tuck those away, and I'll be right back. I have something really cool here. As you can see, it says fluorescent Morocco Manganoan calcite. That almost mangano, I don't know, makes me want to think of mangoes or whatever. I love mangoes. When I lived in Mexico at a missionary, see what I mean? See what I mean? I just get off on a tangent. But anyway, mangoes are wonderful. Kept me without the scurvy and berry. Anyway, great stuff. Manganoan calcite does not refer to mangoes. It refers to the content of manganese in the calcite, creating an ever so slight, in some cases, other cases much greater, pinkish color tone to the calcite. You're saying, I don't see any pink. Well, let's see if we can find some. Oh, do you see a little? Uh-huh. You do. I know you do, because I do. Now, that's white. That's pink. Here is the Manganoan calcite. You can see, actually, the well-formed crystals of it. And, boy, I tell you what, this is a fun fluorescent piece. Beautiful fluorescence to the calcite. Look at this. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Look at these as we come in on this. This is one of my favorite formations for pyrite. What it is a whole bunch of little squares that it forms. I think of that place down at Disney World. What's that one sphere called that you walk in? Epcot. And it reminds me, and as we come in close on this, Dave, if we would, I'm going to show you. It is very cool because what you have is a whole lot of little squares that come together and form one bigger sphere. And that's a neat formation when you have that. So that also is what tells you it's pyrite and not chalcopyrite. Now, pink, see the pink? See the pink? And I love it. Okay, over here, no pink. What is it? Different crystal formation, also under fluorescent light. This area didn't fluoresce. This is how you deduce. And then it's easy to do a hardness test. Calcite scratches with, scissors, tweezers, anything you might have laying around. But quartz, no. Quartz hardness is 7. It doesn't. So it's a quick way to tell for certain. The first thing when the quartz didn't fluoresce and the calcite did, it was obvious to see there was something different there. And you can see just really nice formed quartz crystals right there. So you have quartz, regular calcite. You can actually see the band right there. Manganese calcite, pyrite, and there's probably some marxites. Let's look. Oh, look at there. What is the green against the pink? How cool is that? That tells you right there. Look at the separation of minerals. Isn't that neat? Right there is a separation line. Fluorite. Or you can go hardness of 3, hardness of 4. Mohs scale. 3 is calcite, 4 is fluorite. You have them right next to each other. That fluorite, that calcite, 2 fluorescent minerals next to each other. That would be neat to see what that looks like together. And boy, there's a really neat, you know what? The other neat thing I just thought of, if you took some slices like that off, thin slices, I don't know how deep the fluorite runs, but I don't know. That would be pretty as a slice like that. That's just beautiful showcase like that. Yet here's the other showcase side, but I'm gonna leave it there for a moment. Anyway, price on this, it is so inexpensive. Okay, green fluorite fluoresces purple. And, there's clear fluorite on here as well. The calcite fluoresces orange fluorite. All right, price, only $48. $48 is it. Now, next I have, let me show you. I have item number 1027121. 1027121. And this is 4 pieces. Look at this. This is 4 pieces of a batch of Arkansas quartz that I got a while back, and there's nothing finer than really good quality Arkansas quartz. 4 pieces to this collection. And look at these. Let's go in on one because some of these will have a really neat crystallization and clarity. And then look at that iris in there. That's almost like a phantom iris in that piece. Wow, what in the world? Look at that. I have not seen that in Arkansas quartz much. How about that? Oh, that's pretty interesting. Straight away, look at this. Look at this one. Great color or absence of color. Some beautiful irises. Incredible, just water clear clarity. Look at that iris there. That's just one of them. This one comes 4 pieces. Let me show them to you quick. There's not a bad one in the bunch. Look at that. And then the big one. Look at that. Now you could put these on one of those lighted bases And we have a couple around the house and use them for mood lighting in the evening, just whatnot. You could remove the iron oxide there, which is some, well, you know, you can go and get some CLR or some other stuff and give that a try. Wow, look at that. That's a nice formation there. And look inside these. You never know what you might find. Everything from additional crystallization to phantoms to you never know. And in hydro, water bubble, you never know. Okay, all 4 pieces. Can you believe this? Here is your chance. I am doing show and go pricing on this set of 4. Marking on all 4 for all 4. Only $44. Only $44. That is a huge, huge discount. Show and go indeed. Pricing on that one. Now, let me show you a made in America piece. Item number 1015021. Look at this. Look at that. Natural color chalcopyrite. And I say that because a lot of people don't realize that they take this and they can heat it in a low temperature oven and create an iridescence on the surface that's not natural like a lot of the chalcopyrites are. And they can create some of those beautiful colors that, and they, of course, you know, just like we don't always say a ruby or sapphire is heat treated, many times the dealers, you know, don't admit that. But in the case of this, as we come in, oh, he already has come in close. Here's what you look for. Oh, there's something else hiding down in there. Another mineral. Look at the white even. Interesting. I'm not even looking at the chalcopyrite anymore. Oh, look at the little crystals hiding down in there. Those are dolomites. Dolomites. There might be some calcites around on this one as well, but you can see these chalcopyrites, okay, are on a bed of little beautiful crystals. Now, when you look at all these crystals, it certainly looks like pyrite, correct? Well, here's one way to tell when they're not oxidized and don't have any difference in iridescence and color. They look very similar to pyrites. But when you have this many of them and do not see a single one that is in a cubic form or a square with even sides, if there's not a single one that you can find, then you know that you have chalcopyrite, which is the same formula as pyrite, except with the addition of copper to it. Now, the crystal system this belongs to, the way you can tell that, another way you can tell is chalcopyrite is you will see triangular faces. See those triangular faces? That's, and ultimately also triangular shapes or versions thereof, because sometimes you'll see twin crystals of the chalcopyrite. And when you have this many and there's not a single one that's a cube, you know it's chalcopyrite in this case. All right, what a beautiful, beautiful specimen. This is made in America, Reynolds County, Missouri. They have stunning mineralization there and some huge, amazing old mines. Look at that. It sits up on its own. How cool is that? Tetragonal crystal system. Tetragonal crystal system versus isometric crystal system of pyrite. Help you remember pyrite isometric, meaning cubic equal sides, is diamond. Diamonds form isometric. Spinels isometric, you know, those cubic forms that have equal size. So chalcopyrite, tetragonal. Just kind of think of, you know, T for triangle, kind of some word association like that. All right, price on this one. I am going to do a show and go discount price on this piece, which is going to bring that down to only $44. Only $44 on that one. Now, a piece I have here next is one of the ones I was real surprised no one took advantage of. It is item 103 1021. 103 1021. Now this was an old estate piece. It came in you can see the yellowing to the perky box. It's that old. Look at this. This is one of the old Indian sapphires from Tamil Nadu area, which was a old original collecting area. And you can see the large, beautiful crystallization of this sapphire. Look at the wonderful zoning. And when you have the whole crystal like that, if you actually had this and flipped it over like that, there'd be a good chance that that could cut a eye, that might star a six-sided eye. Because, yeah, these are growth phantoms. These are growth zoning rings like that. And if you had a translucency through the entire piece, it would appear and show up as phantom growth. Now, here's the neat thing about this piece. Neat thing about this piece is actually this part. This part. Why this part? It is Siloamonite. Siloamonite. Siloamonite, named after a Yale professor of mineralogy. And also, it is a polymorph of kyanite and andalusite. In other words, it has the same formula, just a different crystal system. And that's what's so amazing about polymorphs. You know, where teal has many polymorphs. We know that iron oxides, you know, goethite, hematite, you know, limonite, all those, same thing. So look at this exterior. This is Siloamonite. And there were so few specimens with this formation around it, but they did find, and that's how I know the location specific, because of the growth of the Siloamonite around the sapphire. And you can see that pearlescence to the Siloamonite. This has to be an amazingly old and rare specimen, because, you know, if you tried to find something like this at a show, this would be a treasure, just a real treasure, and something that would be very difficult to find, and with a price, when it being sapphire, very expensive. It was named in 1824 in honor of Benjamin Silliman, professor of chemistry and geology at Yale. Again, the polymorph of kyanite and andalusite. Here's why Siloamonite could form so easily chemically around corundum, sapphire. We know sapphire is a formula of Al2O3, 2 atoms of aluminum, 3 of oxygen. That's it, Al2O3, aluminum oxide. So is emery boards and that sandpaper you get called aluminum oxide at your home store. When it says aluminum oxide, all you're getting is a bunch of ground up, basically sapphires, or, you know, the equivalent, corundum. They're man-made at that point, though, but same thing. All right, so polymorph, the Siloamonite around it, chemically, listen to this. It is just Al2SiO4. So it's only the addition of a silicon element, one silicon atom. And it changes it from Al2O3 sapphire into Siloamonite. So very similar formula, and that's why with all it taken is silicon, of course, in the ground everywhere, in the soils and sands. So yeah, it was able to form itself around the sapphire because all the other chemicals needed for Siloamonite to form were present in the ground as well. So just a little different geology created this formation with the pearlescence and crystallization around it in the pearlescence form instead of that very cool sapphire. Now, this also is the sapphire type of sapphire that they'll take and they'll use, and they will heat treat this, and they will do treatments to it. It's called Gouda. that will completely transform that into an amazing blue color and clarity. It's a shame that they can do that, but they can. This natural piece, old estate piece, and I am going to really make someone an excellent, excellent offer on something so exquisite and rare, basically. The weight is incredible. All right, price on this, believe it or not, I am going to give it a discount opportunity. This might be the item of the show. Ready? Only $118. Only $118 on that one. And that's a real treasure to have something so unique and so large, even just in the crystal form as it is, just to have a sapphire that big. Wow. Certainly wish I could find something like that up in North Carolina when I was doing my mining there. So tuck that one away if you can, because you'll have a real treasure. A real treasure. Now, I have another treasure. This is item number 101. 1013721. Look at this. Now, there is not a lot of this material like there was when it first came out. This is that yellow Pakistani brucite. Was always blue. They'd never found any yellow or anything that would be called, I hate to use the word gem quality, but cutting quality. Let's say that, because you've seen me. I've sold out. I don't even know if I have any faceted stones left of the brucite. Maybe one or two. But those stones still going for huge money. Just like the grandidierite I sold that I had so many of. I was the king of grandidierite for a while. And then I've sold those out and I regret it. I wish I had every single one of them back. Anyway, here's a beautiful, beautiful specimen of brucite. A lot of it. It is that valuable lemon yellow color, cutting grade as well, because it never is perfectly transparent. It is always kind of a hazy translucency to it. But boy, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful nonetheless. And look at that. Look at the just easily cutting grade quality. Thank you, sir. Price on this guy, you're not going to believe it. I shouldn't show and go it, but I am. How about this? Wow. Well, I don't know. Well, I think I have something wrong here. Let's make it only $42. $42. That is a show and go deal right there. $42. Take advantage of it. Oh, we only have a few minutes, I just noticed, with you of the show, so let me grab and go on a couple pieces here. Wow. Let's do a show and go on a blue barite, item number 998221. 998221. Look at this. Look at this blue barite. This material was crazy, crazy, crazy expensive when it first came out. Still is in the nice material when you get that nice color blue like that. Look at that. It's amazing how heavy barite is. Technically, it's in the metal end of the periodic table of elements. So, it's got a specific gravity to it. Here we go. I have this marked down. This is, I know exactly the mine, the Sid Lawson mine in the Nador province of Morocco. And price on this piece, if this first came out, that piece would easily cost me wholesale $150. I'm not sure. They may still be going for big bucks, but I'm going to do this right now for everybody for $44. $44. That is a show and go price. So that's a large specimen for the money, large piece for the money. Now, we haven't, I was going to show some Fluorites. I'm out of time for that, but I tell you what, I will take the time to show this last item of the show. We have not done a beautiful zeolite for you. Let me show you item number 1021821. 1021821. Look at this beauty and why I find this so attractive. Now, it doesn't come with a cool stand. We got to hang on to that. But look at that. That has a wonderful, wonderful stilbite and of kind of the bow tie formation, and it stands right out. And check this out with Apophyllites. Now, let's go in close on this and show you. These are Apophyllites. Beautiful, beautiful. Apophyllite actually comes in a lot of different formations. Look at that perfect truncated corners with that. I mean, it looks like it's been faceted. Beautiful, beautiful faces to those. Really, really nice, unusual. And this is all a snowy quartz crystals. Look at these. These are little tiny quartz crystals all over this piece. Even coming on top of the stilbites. This is an impressive specimen. I'm sure if you looked closer, you might find some of the other zeolites, maybe a Heulandite, maybe a Garnetite or Sodalite. Ah, here we go. What did I tell you? Let me just show you right down here. Here we go. See this green? The green line? Yep. We have Sodalite right there. And probably some Garnetite filling in over there as well. All right. This very showy piece for the money. You have another stilbite over here. I just love the way the white quartz covers the background like that. I am doing a show and go price on this. Big markdown to only $88. That specimen, as so many of you have said, how inexpensive my zeolites are compared to others that you have seen, that one will certainly be a fraction of the price that you would find it elsewhere as well. All right, as usual, didn't get to all the other items I wanted to get to, but there's always next week, and I always will look forward when next week comes as well. So I'll be here right after my son. I don't know how much time I'll get to play around with adding some other inventory, but that may also be a great time to do some big discounts. But I see some other pieces here I haven't even featured or shown or that you have missed out on. So it'll be another great show. Can't wait to see you. We'll be back in a minute with the trivia. All right, so time always goes by so fast when you're living out your dream. And that is, really my dream was to be able to, and I came up with this dream at the age of 11, to by the time I was 20, to be able to prospect and find my own raw materials as far as gold, and to be able to find my own rough stone, learn how to cut the stone into a usable piece of jewelry, and learn to take the metal and do something with it. Well, that plan all went great because I accomplished the stone cutting by and including faceting by the time I was, at accomplished level 16, including faceting, and the goldsmithing part at a high level of technical ability probably by the time I was like 19. Finding the stone, I did. I found the rubies and sapphires out in the Cowie Valley of North Carolina, even if they were salted, but I actually found native stones that I could cut as well. The only thing I did not accomplish out of that was to find the gold, find the raw materials, find the silver, find the platinum. I tried, but it's not over yet. I still may accomplish finding that gold. So we'll see. I'm onto it. And the tractor, the excavator, just making the last month's payment on it. And boy, that's a woohoo, because those things hold their value. I went, and because it has also so many low hours, last year I hardly put any on it, having had long haulers from COVID. But the value of those tractors is such they're built to run 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, used for commercial purpose. So really very little maintenance. They're really tough, but they hold their value. I couldn't believe, 5 years later, how much it was still worth, more than both of our 4-wheel drive nice vehicles, including her 11 speaker sound system Jeep. What kind of Jeep is that? Jeep I had, the old Renegade, was just, rough and tough, big tires. It's a manly man's Jeep. Anyway, ready? Trivia questions. All right, so rules to the trivia questions is no fast forwarding, no looking back over the show. You can use all the notes that you want, but mostly I want you to use your memory and as much as you can to answer them. And, a wrong answer is a okay thing because it shows that, hey, you're trying, you're paying attention to the best, and it'll also then hone your ability to listen in a little closer. The questions always have something to do with the show and are usually, pretty easy. So anyway, no fast forwarding or watching the show. Notes are good. Okay, here you go. Ready? 2 questions. What unusual and uncommon element is in Mixite? Now, we talked about Mixite, and we talked about the element, because see, now I'm helping you out, giving you clues, that the unusual element was one that you have possibly seen before that is sold in a lot of places, and they're synthetic crystals that are grown from this element, and they have a lot of iridescence. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, but Mixite has that element in its chemical makeup, which is unusual. You don't see that in that many different minerals. Second question. Name the 2 polymorphs of Siloamonite. Now, we talked about polymorphs. Remember, that is another mineral that is chemically identical to Siloamonite, but forms in a different crystal system. And I had named and mentioned 2 of the polymorphs of Siloamonite. And both of them, the one you'd be least familiar with is the Siloamonite one. The other 2 you should be much more familiar with, and you should know this one. All right. Good luck to all. Hope you're going to enjoy your holidays and keep taking in the show. Tell your friends and neighbors about it and spread the word. All of you joining from YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate all the support you can give. This show is, luckily, Gem Shopping lets me do quite a bit of, show and tell, but in the end, show and sell keeps us going. So I appreciate all of your support in that direction. Shawn at gemshopping.com for your comments and answers to the trivia. Also, go to the Learning Center on the homepage of gemshopping.com to access all the other episodes that we created of how it's done and other information, including this show as well, if you want to do that, or just go directly to YouTube through your regular YouTube accesses that you use. Sign up for information to the show and you'll be good to go. All right, all that done, said, continue to be safe and protect yourself from this transformer, which is really what it is. It's a transformer virus. Omicron is coming. Beware of it. Be ready for it. And I'm going to. And with that said, I can't wait to see you next week. Take care.